I am Sarah, or Big Fuzziac, whatever you guys want to call me these days. We're at the UK Games Expo, and I am here with Rob, and he's going to explain to us all these games because there's a lot of amazing IPs here, and my favorite is Squid Game, of course. So I've come in character, y'all.
Boom.
So Rob's gonna give us the rundown.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So we've got this is a series of new games we've got here. These are kind of party games and an escape room game here as well. So we have 2 party games based on the One Piece franchise,
right,
and Squid Game. There you go.
Yep.
These have got a series. These are kind of built for fans of the shows. They've got a series of kind of trivia-based questions in. They've got a series of challenges. So the Squid Game one in particular is going to have some other kind of little takes on the challenges you might see in the show, with a little bit less death, a bit less violence, you know, that sort of thing. But yes, exactly, yeah. So it's a little bit happier than that, but you can kind of reenact those moments and
so more family friendly.
Family friendly. That's the way to think of it.
All right.
And the One Piece game here as well, the treasure hunt one. So as I say, this is a party game. This one is, oh man, One Piece is quite a thing, right? And the treasure hunt here, this is an escape room game. So this is kind of one of those games where if you played something like Exit or the Unlock games, that's going to feel sort of familiar to you, but with a One Piece theme through the whole thing. So this one, it doesn't necessarily require One Piece knowledge, which is good. It means you can play it with people who love One Piece and they're going to recognize characters, you're going to recognize parts of the franchise, but equally, you can play it with people who don't know it and kind of run through that escape room with them. So yeah, that's those three.
So how do you win this quiz?
Yes.
Certain amount of points you need to get?
Certain amount of points, exactly, yeah. So you're going to scoop a certain amount of points, and as I say, you get those points from kind of some of the trivia questions that are in there, from taking part in winning in some of the challenges. And
what's the score you need to win?
That's a good question. It's not actually one I've played yet. This is the thing. So the knowing this might be something we have to take part in this weekend. We're gonna have to take on the challenge and see, and I'll find out in which way you win, and then yeah, this is it.
Well, that's so cool.
Yeah. To start with, do you know The Witcher? Do you know?
Very limited knowledge.
Okay,
happily say that.
Okay, that's fine. So
it's better for our audience to get the whole explanation.
To get the whole shebang, yeah.
Somebody watching this video.
Perfect. So, Gwent is a game it was basically a mini game built into The Witcher 3, and The Witcher 3 was a game that came out about 10 years ago. It was the 9th biggest selling video game of all time. So 75 million units were sold of this video game. And Gwent was, as I say, a side game or a mini game built into it. Now, people got so obsessed with Gwent that they actually wanted to not have to play the Witcher parts, just so they could play Gwent. That's how big this card game became. So it's been 10 years in the making, and what we now have is the first physical edition of Gwent here. What you get in the game are 5 different decks here, and from those decks you make a smaller deck, basically, which is going to be your deck that you play a game of Gwent with. And game of Gwent, you start with just 10. So you can mixed up, and you build, because you make your deck ahead of time, and your deck will.
Cards to pick them? Okay.
You kind of make, yeah, you sort of make a deck of about 30 cards,
yeah,
and then you will pick 10 from that. So you kind of know the spread of your deck to some extent.
Okay.
But then you only get 10 of them off the top of there. So you're using 10, and this is a 2-player combat game. And what you're doing is putting out these cards. There is actually a 3 to 5 player mode, which is exclusive to this edition, to the physical edition. The original digital version of Gwent didn't have that.
Okay.
But what you've got is 3 to 5 player mode in this, and also a solo mode for people who want to play solitaire games. So the standard game of Gwent has you playing out cards into these 3 rows, which are your melee row here, your ranged row, and your siege row. And those cards have a strength value, which you can see in the numbers here. The strength value is going to be added to this little area here, and at a certain point in the round, you may choose to pass. And what you want to do is you want to pass and have the most strength, and basically when both players pass, if you have the most strength, you will win the round, in effect. The thing is that the other player can continue to play, so even when you've passed, they can continue to put out cards. Now, the reason you may choose to pass in that instance is because that 10 cards I mentioned you pick up off the top of your deck, that's your 10 cards for the whole game.
Oh, okay.
So once
wow.
you have your 10, you don't get to draw new cards. There are a few special effects that will let you draw new cards,
Okay.
but generally you don't want to spend all your cards in the first round because Gwent is a game where you have to win 2 rounds, which is
Okay.
indicated here. And once you win 2 rounds, you win the game.
How long does the round usually last?
A whole game will last 15 minutes, so it's a
15
pretty breezy, pretty short.
That's
Yeah,
2 rounds.
that's 2 to 3 rounds depending on
Okay.
because it's best of 3 type of situations. So once someone wins 2, that's it. Yeah. So game is about 15 minutes, and the kind of more complex strategic part of Gwent really is actually building the deck ahead of time, because you kind of want to learn the ins and outs of these factions, what special powers they have, what kind of abilities they're good at, and build a deck accordingly. And when you have a battle with someone, you might then kind of redesign your deck a little bit to have another fight and play game after game after game. People who have played this, there was some data that was released by the video game, the people who made the video game of this, and in the last 2 years, there have been 450 million games of Gwent played on the video game. Yeah, so it's a pretty popular game. That's just a little bit. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is one that is for anyone who is into their licenses, anyone who is a Witcher fanatic. And this is, we get a question about this because there's no corners cut here. This is the game of Gwent that you will find in the Witcher video game,
Just
reproduced in fill. Yeah, reproduced in fill. Yeah.
This is the one that the guy's dressed as.
Yes,
He
this is it.
disappeared.
This is it. He's over there. He's
Yeah,
over
the
there.
words,
He's
I
looking.
looked at his suit. I was so
Yeah,
impressed. I was
looking
like,
the
I just wanna
part,
color
right?
him in.
Yeah. So this is MicroMacro. Do you?
Marker.
Yeah, this is get coloring. Yeah. Do you know MicroMacro by any chance?
No.
Okay, so
I feel like I'm looking at black and white. Where's Waldo?
a little bit.
Yeah?
So
Okay.
this is a game that came out. The original MicroMacro came out about, I want to say 5-6 years ago.
Is it a British game or?
It's German, actually, German
okay.
game. Yeah. So, and there was a series of these released, and what they are sort of detective games, basically. So this is just the kids' version has just won an award. Boom, boom, boom. That is it. It's looking good, huh? That is
Yeah, looking really good.
looking good.
I'll try not to break that.
No. Is it made of glass?
I think that's
Risky, yeah. So, what you get in a game of MicroMacro is a bunch of cases
Okay.
which look like. Let me
Oh,
find.
and then you like use this to find it, or?
Yes, yeah. So there are
I'm on
20.
Spectrum, you know.
20. No, you're getting this. You're getting this immediately. Like, so there are 22 cases here,
Okay.
and you would flip to the first case, like helmet, here. And what it's going to do is ask you to solve a narrative case, basically, by finding parts on the map.
Oh, okay.
So we have, for example, in this one, we have the first step is about this guy who's lost his hat.
This
Full
isn't
fun,
Fernando Alonso, by the way, is it?
It's sadly not. I mean, we could say it is. We could say it is. It could be.
Formula One IP.
There you go. I'm in. Boom. Let's make this happen.
Let's do this.
So you've got to look for Fernando, who's somewhere on the beach. And the idea is you're looking around this.
Aston Martin, so.
Yeah, even better. That's it. Boom. So you're looking for Fernando. You track him down.
Yep.
There he is. He's
Yeah.
lost his hat, and you can see that that's what he looks like there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we've tracked him down. The next step, that means we get to move to the next step of the case, which is where we have to work out, we have to track where Fernando lives. And the way we do this is we look for previous instances of Fernando, like here.
Oh, okay.
You can mark him there. You can mark him here.
How do you know which one's the past and the future?
It's sort of like, it's kind of designed in a way where
The past and not the future.
it's not necessarily, it's kind of like, sometimes if you can see someone's walking a direction, there's probably a previous iteration of them.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
This is the past and that's the future.
Yeah. Exactly. So you're moving back through the case, and eventually we can work out where Fernando lives, which is over here. And as the case progresses, what we're looking for is to try and work out what happened to Fernando. And you can see there's these previous versions of
Take
him.
Fernando's hat.
Someone might have
Is it
taken.
you?
I could be tempted. I mean, have you seen that hat? It's pretty cool. Where is he? There.
Oh my god, it's got horns on it.
It's got horns on it. It's a
I'm a
Viking.
yak,
hat.
you know?
Boom. That's it. So you find these iterations of Fernando, and then as we get through the case, we work out, here's Fernando with his helmet, here's Fernando without, and we
so
can
in
start to
between
work
there,
out
you got-
he's lost his hat. So you can start to see there's a guy up here.
Oh, yeah.
in this tree who's stolen it. And that's kind of the idea, is you're solving this case and working out what happened and unfurling the story as you go, basically, yeah.
So for this one, this whole book is based on this one map?
That's based on this one map, and you have 22 cases in the box.
Okay.
The main thing about this is the kids' version, as I say. This is brand new.
Okay.
There are 4 adult versions of MicroMacro which still have this art style.
Yeah.
The reason they've done a kids' version is because the original ones had they had this similar gameplay, but the themes, it was set in a place called Crime City, which, as you can imagine, is probably not all that fun and friendly. And so Crime City had murders happening, drug abuse, all sorts of things like that. So sometimes parents would buy this game thinking, like, this is going to be good for me to play with my kids. It's got lovely cartoon art style and Where's Wally style gameplay. And the first thing is like, who murdered this guy in the park? And you're like, whoa, I don't know. Yeah. And so this one is like, so this took all the magic of the gameplay and then turned it into a more family-friendly set of stories. Like, one of them is about finding a lost dog.
Are the other 4, are they based on certain IPs? Or
Say again?
Are the other 4, the adult ones, based on certain IPs?
No, this is all like its own world, actually. MicroMacro is kind of its own.
Do you think they will merge with IPs?
Perhaps one day. Perhaps one day. It's one of those things we're not sure yet at the moment.
You already have access to other IPs.
Yeah. It could be a possibility one day.
I'm overstepping.
No. I like the idea, definitely. I like the idea big time. Yeah.
But I don't want to change that.
No, I'm with you.
I can prioritize
Yeah.
reorganize them.
Yeah.
And that's why I also interrupt, because I'm like, if I don't
No.
I'll forget.
You gotta get those questions in. You gotta get those questions in.
Glad you get that.
So yeah.
Other people will be like, you're so rude.
No. This is it. You gotta get the. This is just a good interview. That's how it is.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yay!
So yeah, this is MicroMacro.
So one was the crimes, one was with a dog.
Yeah, lost dog. There's one where you're looking for like vegetables for rabbits, like looking for lunch for the rabbits.
Like rabbits.
Yeah. Looking for lunch for them.
What's the last one?
Yeah, there's all sorts actually. I forget the full set of stories because there's 22 in here. You have. Sorry. Yeah, no. They've got all sorts of cases in. Like, there's murder, there's adultery, there's all sorts of bad stuff. But it's they're the same great gameplay. So this is sort of the 5th one, but it's the first kids special one. Yeah.
And the kids one's the one, right?
And this is the award winner. Yeah.
You also won more than one award tonight as well.
We have. Yeah.
How many total? 2 or 3?
We won 3 awards. Yeah.
Where's the other 2 awards?
Okay, so we got one of them here on the end of the.
This one? The same
This
game?
is it. Yeah.
The art style looks nice, and this game, that's different.
No, sadly we ran out of space, so this is
You had a game called Moonshot. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Is it a drinking game?
It's
Can you make
not,
it a drinking game?
It's about setting up a speakeasy. But this one. So.
Look at us doing an unboxing.
Yeah. This is it. We're doing an unboxing. So I'm going to get a couple of bits out for this.
Oh, you could put a logo on this.
A logo could help. Yeah. So this is.
Something based off the art.
So the nature of this game is what we're doing is this is a party game, and it's a cooperative party game as well. So you're working together, and what you're going to have at the outset of the game is a bunch of categories. So you've got things like frequency worldwide, so how many, then you've got material, you've got length, you've got price, all sorts of stuff like that. And what you will also get is an object. So for example, a horse trailer. Okay. Now,
you said that because I read that in his house.
a horse trailer. So there's the horse trailer. Now, each of these categories is going to be numbered when you play the game. So it might be, we haven't laid it out properly here, but they'll be numbered 1 to what is this? 6, 7, 8, 9. So they'll be your number 1 to 9, right? And you all have a secret number that is yours. So you might have this 5, which will correspond to importance for humanity. Yeah. What you have to do on your turn, and this is the tricky, weird bit with this game, you have to think of an object that is exactly the same as a horse trailer in that specific area and different in every other way. Okay?
For each one of these? Or just one of them?
So it must be different in terms of frequency worldwide, material, appearance, all of them, but in this example, if you were looking at importance for humanity, if that was your target category, then you would have to think of something that is the same as a horse trailer in terms of how important it is for humanity, but different in every other way. And then the other.
What would you pick?
Oh,
What would your guess be?
something that is different. So I think so. I'd be thinking in my head. I'm thinking a horse trailer, unless you're a horse person, is not all that
How
important.
about like a cat backpack?
Oh, there you go. Boom,
Like
boom.
really sweat.
Boom, a cat back.
Yeah?
I think that could be a thing
Okay.
because they're probably a different number of cat backpacks to horse trailers.
Yep.
They're a different material.
Yep.
They definitely look different. You go through each of these, and your teammates are going to work out: is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? And they're going to mark the ones they don't think it is. So they're going to cross off certain ones, and the idea is they want to cross off every single one and leave just the one that is your category still face up, basically.
Okay.
So
But
if
is
they
it better
can
to have more than one or
more than one,
category?
you would only get one. You would only get one.
Oh,
so you
you're
would have
given
you're given one.
you're given this one.
Yeah.
But it's all of them at once.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's it. That's it. So that's how it works. It's a weird game because it tests your it really tests your sort of thinking in a way that is like your kind of lateral thinking skills. You know, it's not a sort of like it breaks your brain in a way that makes you think in this kind of like out there, creative, out of the box way. So it's
a learning curve way, but once they get there, then it's just locked.
yeah,
And then it
yeah,
becomes,
exactly. So this is the other award winner. Yeah, the other one is not actually out on the table at the moment because it's a slightly older game, but it's we had a war game called Cyclades, which is a big kind of game set in ancient Greece.
So word at.
I don't know actually.
One down there,
It's gone missing.
Who
Who has stolen it? Yeah, not sure. Not sure. It's gone somewhere. But where's the guy? I don't know. What's that award down there? What's the award down there? What's the award down there?
Do you want me to bring them over?
Which one is that? Here we go. We're gonna find out. We can do. There it is. Is one of them the same game? Yeah, it's actually with. Stick that with the same game. Yeah,
Is that for this one?
that's for that one. There
That's
you
for
go.
this one?
Yeah,
What?
I don't know. Now it's
It
fixed.
wasn't you.
Yeah.
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 It's good because on the aisles, people just see the orange.
That's the thing, right? That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Big brain.
Yeah.
The game that caught my eye is the kitty cat one.
The which one? The
kitty
cat one. Yeah. Let me show you the
Is
kitty
that
cat
an
one.
IP or is that a
That's an IP. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Boom.
yeah, boom.
All right. So this
Got
is
it.
Flow, folks. If
Flow.
you don't know Flow at home, Flow was the Oscar-winning movie this year. It's the best animated movie of the year. Got the Oscar. Great stuff. It's a movie. It's interesting. It's a movie with no dialogue in it, which is crazy. Like there is 0 words, 0 dialogue, and basically the movie is kind of a post-apocalyptic disaster movie with these animals, and they're basically trying to get to safety. That's through the course of the movie.
Did you watch the movie?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't
need to
watched
watch
it.
it
Have
for
you watched the
background.
movie?
I have not watched it.
Ah, so you can't tell me that.
This is
Yeah.
your stand, and
True,
that would be good
true.
research
That
for
would
you.
be good research.
Yeah.
I will sort that out. I have played the game though,
We should
which
watch
is
it together.
we should sort this out. Yeah, we should sort this out. So this is bringing that game to life, and this is a cooperative. That movie to life. Cooperative game
Oh, wow.
where what you are doing is you are building out.
Where do you start?
So ordinarily there will be none of these on the board.
Yeah.
What you have to do is connect the animals to the boat in the center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that piece will always be there then.
Always be there.
Alright.
On your turn, you flip one
Yep.
and you place it and try to get it to
Do
the
you have
boat.
to start from here? Can you just put
They have to be connected. Exactly. Yeah. Now, this is kind of this is a difficult game because you are thinking about where to place your piece, but every 60 seconds a timer goes off,
Yeah.
and we roll 2 dice, like so, and that will show on the white number
Yep.
and the black number here.
5.
That is going to destroy all the tiles that are
Oh, the
on
whole
these
row.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
not
there
just
is.
the 5.
Yep, and you lose the
Oh.
game if this tile deck ever goes empty. So what you have to do is you've got to think about how to get these animals back, but you may run out of time if you're not careful. Things can be like Yeah. That's sort of the gist of Flow. You can add in these different
I
sort
can
of.
imagine if people aren't very coordinated, that
Yep.
can cause some blips.
It's pretty intense, yeah. So there are sort of other things you can deal into the game, like little challenges to make things even harder if you're that way inclined. So in this one can be put into the game, which means you can't speak. This one changes the starting tile, so it's only got one route into it. Yep. This one puts on at the start of the board at the start of the game puts some. I'm not sure if they're out, but these these impassable objects which you can never break through. So there's lots of extra things, and then there's also these which make it easier for players as well. So they're able to kind of.
It's very hard that if you start on this way, that we'll be able to turn the boat.
No.
Does that exist?
No.
Okay.
No. So it's a challenge you got to work with. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. But yeah, this is the game, and as I say, it was won the Oscar-winning, it won the best animated movie Oscar this year, and the game is great as well. So
How much would you say this game goes for?
I believe this is £20. I think. Yeah.
How much for the Squid Game and One Piece?
Squid Game and One Piece. They retail for around 15. I think the escape room is, I want to say £14. It's not in my head, unfortunately, but yeah. That's it.
The Witcher one?
The Witch one is 44.
44.
Yeah.
Is it the IP price?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of game in the box as well. You can be playing that for years. So, yeah.
Or try the doodling one.
The MicroMacro one is 25, I believe.
For the
Yeah.
kids or for the adult ones?
Both similar. Yeah, similar pricing.
In the end?
The one on the end is also 25, I think, as well.
Okay,
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Thank you, guys.